The journey of a content creator is not as simple as it may seem. In this video, I share top 5 things that kept getting in the way of creating content for me, and also share ways that helped me overcome them. The first one is mindset. As we become adults, we just come to expect to be great at things. It doesn't feel good to be bad at something, so when we start a new skill, we forget that there is a learning period involved. Unless you're a professional videographer or a photographer, remember that we will have to learn a lot more when producing YouTube content than we originally expected. Filming, composition, light, editing, scripting, public speaking are just a few skills that go into the process of making YouTube content. I was impatient and very unkind at times to myself when I was not getting something right away. And every time I made myself feel bad, I actually didn't want to go back to filming and making YouTube videos. And why would anyone want to go back to something that doesn't make you feel great? It actually took me a few years to relax and accept that I'm just learning new things. And it doesn't mean that I'm not suited for this if I'm not getting things right away. It just means that I'm like anyone else who is trying to pick up 10 new skills simultaneously. The second one is setup. There are a lot of YouTube videos out there that talk about equipment, about cameras, about how to set it up, and it's overwhelming. I got my first DSLR in 2015, and I can tell you that it did not help me get into producing content right away. It actually got in the way. In addition to the skills that I mentioned above, DSLR is a whole new world of learning. So if you take those 10 skills, it's an exponential complexity that gets added when you pick up a piece of equipment like DSLR or a pretty complicated camera that you're not familiar with. I started making videos consistently with my iPhone with natural window light and a wireless mic. And it made it really enjoyable and fun because the process was so simple. While I was still learning a lot and occasionally got frustrated with myself, I felt like I was scoring about 80% of the times. And when you're winning or feel like you're winning most of the times, it just makes you want to come back to the process, which is what it did to me, and it became this fun, enjoyable, and rewarding experience. My advice is to start as simple as possible. It's not the camera that stops you from making great YouTube content. It's actually about just starting out. So make it as simple as possible for yourself. So set it up with whatever you have at your disposal, and I guarantee you the easier the process when you're first starting out, the easier and more rewarding and enjoyable the process is going to become for you. The third thing that got in the way for me is money. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who tried to make business out of social right off the bat. And I didn't become consistent with making video content until I started making it for fun, for myself. The pressure of figuring out the message, the target audience, branding, marketing was paralyzing for me. I can easily count at least 10 concepts that I have worked continuously on for quite some time that actually didn't materialize to anything. And to be honest, just thinking about monetizing the content stripped away all my creative desires and juices and completely stopped me in my tracks. I was stuck. And I was stuck over and over and over again until one day I said, you know what, I'm just gonna make videos for myself so I can learn the skills in the process. And while I'm not particularly trying to gain an audience, I'm super appreciative for people who watch my videos and who leave positive comments. For me, it was much easier to start making videos for myself as a hobby versus trying to make them a business right away. And I don't think enough creators talk about the enjoyment and the fun part anymore, as everyone on YouTube seems to be just making videos to monetize them and to actually grow them into real business. The true spark that keeps me consistent and keeps me want to come back to this process is really the joy that I get from making content and from learning new skills and interacting with my audience. The fourth thing that got in the way is perfectionism. And I do believe that perfectionism is part of the mindset, but really I want to separate it because it's a tendency to seek that artificial perfection, whatever you think that might be. My inner critic was out of control. And as I rewatched my videos, I thought they were awful. I thought I sounded like an idiot. And, I thought that I could have a normal conversation, normal life. But when I put myself on camera, I completely was failing everything. So it paralyzed me from actually putting myself out there and producing content for a really long time. Until one day, I finally accepted that I'm actually cool with where I'm at. I'm learning and it's normal as long as I seek that gradual improvement over time. I think I'm in a good shape. And it's okay to suck at first. It's okay to not like what you're making. It's okay to maybe sound like an idiot at first as well, even though I do not recommend using that harsh language. The main objective is to really get going and to learn and improve over time. And I'm really, really grateful that someone is watching my videos. I think it takes courage to put yourself out there, especially via a video format. And if you are not used to producing videos or being on camera, I think it does take that extra step, extra courage. So if you do it and when you do it, give yourself extra credit for doing it. It's not easy, and maybe you have grown up without thinking that you're a great public speaker, or you're afraid being on camera, or maybe you think that you look silly. None of those things matter because you're brave enough and courageous enough to film a video and put yourself out there. Celebrate the fact that you are courageous enough to do that for yourself, and please, please, please disregard the chatter in your head. It doesn't matter what it says. And the last piece that got in the way is lack of patience. I wouldn't consider myself a super patient person, and this process beat me up, honestly. I was frustrated, I was not patient, and everything I described from point 1 to point 4 took me about 6 years to process. But in those 6 years, I've learned new skills, even though sometimes painfully slowly. I have accepted where I was, and I became comfortable with who I am. And most importantly, I have changed my perspective, my outlook, and my approach to creating content. And sometimes I still have doubts, I still have questions and flares of perfectionism, but now I know how to manage them, so I can quickly push them aside and continue with what I'm set out to do. I hope this video helps you get going with what you have and helps you keep that mental chatter at bay. Know that if you're having doubts, have questions, or being too critical of yourself, you're normal. And know that it will get better. You will grow your confidence over time, and you will also grow your skill sets if you continue with this process. Happy content creation, and thanks for watching.